Alright, so Jude Barclay, he dropped a dope album last year. It's called About This Year. And listen to the whole thing. There's a lot of different vibes with it. He's got like slow acoustic guitar, like love songs, all the way to upbeat pop, and even some like Jersey club beats in there too. And after listening to the album, I just wanted to make a couple beats for it. So when I get back to the studio, I'm gonna just go over how I made those beats, and hopefully I can give y'all some tips on making your own beats. See you in the studio. Alright, we're back in the studio. So I wanna go over a couple beats I made. So for this first beat, I kind of made it around the song Nevermind. So I pulled up a loop from my new acoustic guitar loop kit called Willow, which is out now. Shameless plug. You can get the free version or the full paid version. I'll link them in the description. So this loop is a 1-5-6 progression. It's like 1-5 pretty much for the whole time, and then a bonus like 6 chord at the very end. So we got some basic strumming, another layer of strumming, and then we got a couple different melodies, one kind of in the mid to high range, and then the other one in the high range. And I added some pads to layer under the chords, and then I reversed them just to add some more texture to it. So yeah, that's it for the loop. For this beat, I felt like pop drums fit it more. Here's what that sounds like. Every like 8 bars or so, I try to switch up the drums in some way so that I can keep the beat more interesting. In this case, I went from having the hi-hat on every beat to making it a 2-step hi-hat on every like 8th note. This makes it feel like the beat's moving. I also added like a lot of different basses here. So in the intro, it's this long bass, very simple, just on the root note. So then in the first part of the verse, I cut the bass out. In the next part of the verse, I added some bass guitar, and that sounds like this. So the goal with this bass line was to work really well with the kick so that it makes a really nice groove. And for my third bass pattern, I put it only in the hook. I'm gonna play with all the drums here so you get an idea of what it sounds like. That bass, to me, brings a whole lot of more energy, which is really important to have in the hook of a pop song. So here's my mixing tip of the day. So you can see the kick and bass guitar playing together, right? If you want the kick to really punch through the mix, hit harder, great way to do that is to sidechain it. So you go down your kick and find wherever your bass is. Here's the bass track, so I'll go down here and just click that arrow. Typically the knob will be up here, so just turn it down, and then you can go into your bass, get the fruity limiter. First you gotta be in the compression side, and turn that sidechain to 1 so that the sidechain actually works. So let's just reset this real quick. The sidechain's off, there's nothing happening, right? Then you turn the sidechain on, right? Then you gotta bring down this threshold so that it can actually make a difference. So then you start to see the bass ducking when the kick hits. Then you just, turn the knobs until you think it sounds good to you. It's a good one. And just for fun, I put a reverb on the intro bass. So here's without it. And here's with the reverb. It's very subtle, but it can just give your bass a little more width. So if you want to put reverb on your bass, the most important knob is this low cut here. You gotta make sure it's cutting out all the bass frequencies, or else it'll sound really muddy. So just turn this up until it's not muddy anymore. Just mess with the other knobs until it sounds good, basically. Most of the music is just doing stuff until it sounds good. Alright, so I'll play the beat. But before I play you this beat, and tell you something. I just dropped my first sample pack ever, and I'm super excited to share it with y'all. I put up a free and a paid version. version. You know, if you just want to try it out, mess with the sounds a little bit before jumping in and paying for the whole thing, totally get that. I'll link them both down in the description. And I'm also planning to drop what I call a 5x5 inspiration pack. These packs will be uploaded monthly and they'll be free for the month that it's released in. The one for January, it'll be free up until February. These 5x5 packs will include 5 different categories and 5 different sounds in each category. So there'll be 25 total sounds of like different samples and perks and perk loops and all kinds of dope stuff like that. Anyways, let's get back to the beat. Here's the intro with the reverb bass into the first verse. It's really chilled out. No bass at all. That's picking up a little bit. Right into the pre-chorus. Hey. This is the hook, by the way. So this one I made from scratch, and it was inspired by the melody of the song Amazes Me on the album. So first I laid down some guitar chords. This is a 1-7-6-3 chord progression, and it's in D minor. Next, I added some piano keys to fill out the frequencies. For the guitar chords, I always like to keep it very simple with the effects, just so that it still has that natural sound, natural vibe to it. Basic EQs, compressions, and then some reverb on the bus. Light cuts here and there, taking out some annoying frequencies. Yeah, the piano, really simple effects too. I'm really mainly cutting out that bass, those lows, and just cleaning up the mids, and then adding some reverb to it. Like with these kind of beats, you don't want to overdo the acoustic guitar. If you cut out too much stuff, it's just gonna sound thin and like robotic. If you don't cut out enough, there's probably gonna be muddy somewhere in there. So like, try not to make any massive cuts anywhere. Next, we got the guitar melody. I'll play that with the chords. Super basic effects. And I had a counter melody just to keep it more interesting. One thing about having multiple melodies, that if you really want it to sound full, a lot of times all you need to do is just pan different tracks to the left or to the right. So I got my like 2 sets of guitar chords, and so I got one to the right, one to the left, and I got the guitar melody pan to the right and the counter melody to the left a little bit. And I also added this Vox from my 5x5 inspiration pack. So I put a love filter on it to take out a lot of the highs. Massive EQ cut there. Little compression, some reverb, and this hyper chorus. Ever since I updated FL Studio, I got this hyper chorus plugin. It's fire, bro. Been one of my favorites to use recently. Anyways, that's the melody. Drum tone. First I started off with the clap from Lucent's hardwired multi-kit. And then I layered that with a rim shot from my ethereal drum kit coming real soon. Together they sound like this. And I just got a basic 2-step hi-hat, crash, and a kick in 808, all from the hardwired multi-kit. Shout out Lucent. Dang. That Mexican food, man. Then I added this bass in like the pre-hook area. Pretty much the full beat. I just added some risers here and there. That's it. Here's the full beat. Pre-hook. The long bass. Going right into the hook here.
And my baby made it.
Verse. Took out the melodies just to make it simpler. Pitched down the melody to give it some variation.